Welcome back from the short break. You are watching Morning at NTV now on Everyday Life here. This very first day of August, we are speaking to an author, Johnson Grace Maganja, who has written a local book that has been adopted by some schools in the country. It has been approved by the National Council for Curriculum Development. NCDC, I believe. Yeah. Welcome. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This book, The Adventures of Musigi, here. First of all, what inspired you to do this? I mean, this, even going through it, seems a very local book. Something that many Ugandans are able to relate to. What inspired you to write this?
Actually, that's my third book.
This is your third book?
Yes, please. After having written my first two books for adults, being a former primary school teacher, I was like, I think I need to do something for kids too. So I looked back at my childhood. Then that's how I came up with that story. I looked at the 5 most things in my childhood when I was a child.
Okay, what are they?
I used to like playing football. I used to like hunting for birds in the forest. I used to like catching fish. Those are my real story ideas.
You told me earlier that you're actually not an English teacher.
No, I'm not an English
You're
teacher.
not an English teacher. And you don't have a degree.
No, I don't have a degree.
What gave you the confidence that you could actually write a book in English that would be adopted by our education system, by the National Curriculum Development Center?
I had a great passion for writing and reading. During my childhood, I read books such as The Adventures of Tintin, Mark Twain. I loved watching lots of cartoons. So I was like, what is so special about writing? With the little knowledge I had in English, I was like, I think I can put something down, get a good editor, and boom, the magic of it. And that's how I came up with that idea.
Had you always wanted to write from your childhood?
Not really, but I loved reading. I loved reading a lot.
Okay.
I loved reading a lot.
Okay.
Yes.
As someone who has taught, what would you say about our reading culture now, especially amongst the young people? I usually like to ask the guests here. These days with Facebook and especially Twitter, we live our lives in 140 characters. People don't have time to read. People are saying books are becoming irrelevant and obsolete as opposed to the computer, you know, which is more dynamic. What would you say to those? First of all, talk about our reading culture from what you've seen as your experience as a teacher, where are kids still interested in reading books?
Okay. First of all, I'm a kind of person who believes in the positive. I don't look at the negative.
But what's the reality?
The reality is this.
The reality, yes.
The reason people say our reading culture is poor is what they're reading is boring. They don't relate to what they are reading. Okay? For example, this book, I tried as much as possible to write things children look in their daily lives, things they can really see and touch. But the rest people, the moment I read something that I can't get in touch with, I won't get interested. And even the language, okay? Very hard language, they don't understand it, yet you can use very simple language. It doesn't have to be English. It can be a local language, Rushiga, Runyankore, very simple. Interesting characters, simple stories a child will read and remember. And even the questioning style in most books I've seen, it doesn't address the 3 levels of learning, which is knowledge, comprehension, and application. The moment those 3 levels of learning are lacking in any book, a child will never read.
Tell us more about those 3 things.
Knowledge. I'll try as in a simple manner as possible. Facts. Something new someone will learn. Hey, I've read this, man. Hey, I didn't know this.
Does it have to be factual, or can it be...
There are simple things in life. It's not magic.
A myth. Can it be something that is, you know, make-believe?
No, it has to be a fact.
Okay. Knowledge.
Yeah. Comprehension. When I read something, do I really... Does it follow a sequence I understand? Can I interpret what I've read? Can I remember what I've read? Okay? Then the application is, when someone asks me what I've read, can I explain to them? Can I practically put it in my daily life? Not only at home, even at work with my friends. That is what is lacking in most books. Most books. Good books is not about the volume. Okay, I've seen people say, hey, your book is so small. You're selling your book 6K. That is so small. No, your book is worth 3K. Come on, look at the knowledge inside. Look at the knowledge inside. For example, this book of mine is a collection of 5 stories. After every story, there's a lesson for a child to learn, then there are questions. And that's what people don't really value. It's a collection of 5 different stories, not just one story.
I'm actually surprised. This book that we are reviewing today, The Adventures of Musigi, and Musigi is the Musigi are a clan of the Vachiga, amongst the Vachiga. You actually do have questions at the end of the book, at the end of each chapter. And that is something you rarely find in some of these storybooks.
Exactly, just read and that's it. Just a kid, what did you read about? The kid can't remember.
So, okay, so you said books need to address 3 things: knowledge, comprehension, and application.
Yes, the English books.
Let's talk about application.
Let me give you an example. The favorite story in that book, kids have told me they love most, was Musigi makes the rich man's son laugh.
Laugh?
Yeah. In that story, there was a rich man in Mutungo, everybody tried to make the son laugh, blah, 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 and everybody failed. So this young boy called Musigi thinks at the backyard of his home he had planted this other small plant. In my childhood, we used to call it Mukowe Umbeko, that tiny plant. The English name is touch me not plant. With tiny leaves, you touch it and the leaves fall. So this kid is like, I think this can make the kid laugh. This rich man, maybe the kid was always indoors. And guess what? He had never seen this plant. It's a wild plant. Gives it to the kid, and one morning he's like, hey, don't touch this plant until sunrise. The kid touched the plant and it falls. The kid had never seen it. It was like magic. This kid was so excited, and boom. The kid laughs. What moral lesson is there? Being wise can bring you wealth. That's the moral lesson. So, will you learn that from school? No. It's just common sense.
How easy was it for you to get your book published? Because we hear that that's a challenge for many authors.
So true. Traditional publishing houses in Uganda only want to deal with people who are already established. You're a professor, you're already known, you've done your books, they will look at you.
And here you were.
I won't mention the publishing houses, but I had struggled since 2011. They're like, your work. Others were telling me to pay them the same amount of money to publish my work. I'm like, come on, I can't afford this. Look at my manuscript. You like it? Publish it. They're like, no. Then I was like, God, you know something? I'm going self-publishing. And all my 3 books, I've self-published them. And God bless me. Look what I'm moving.
I'll ask you, what is your purpose? Why this? Why? What was your conviction for you to self-publish? This is your 3rd book now. For you to approach the National Curriculum Development Center with this idea. What drove you to do that?
I've gone so much in life. I've gone through so much in life. Since 93 when I lost my mom, 97, so much in life. And I felt I need to show the world what I've gone through. And I believe that you can always make it if you try and never give up on your dream. I was like, God, you know something? I've achieved so much in life despite my challenges. I would like to show the world how I've done it, and they can also do it their own way.
There are many young people who are watching who probably think and have had the burden of writing, but don't even know where to start. And I think your story is very encouraging because you're not even an English teacher. You self-published. You self-published. What would you say to young aspiring writers who have had doors blocked?
Okay. Rule number 1. Never compare yourself to anyone. We may be 10 writers, but our writing style will always be different. That's the rule. 2, don't listen to what these other traditional publishing houses tell you. When you don't like your manuscript, move on and self-publish. There are only 3 things you need to know. No one gives you the copyright to your work. Most people don't know what copyright means. In simple terms, according to the Copyright and Neighboring Rights Act 2006, Section 4, copyright simply means this. When you have an original idea, independent on your own, and you transform it in material form, as simple as this, that alone is copyright. You have a right to that copy of just written down, okay? You don't have to go to your RSBS to give you that copyright. No. That's what publishing houses never tell those aspiring writers. People think you have to pay money, then they give you a copyright. No, that's so wrong. No. Second step, get a very good editor. Get a very good book designer. Then there's this barcode at the back. It's at 40K. I got it from the National Library Board at Buganda Road. all you need is 3 copies of your book, and the cover page and the verso page showing the publisher. Then you submit it, you pay the money, to give you stuff. Another step, you can go another step further and you go and register your copyright at the Uganda Registration Service Bureau. And that's it, you move. Then you do the marketing yourself. Begin from home, your friends. Sell your book to your friends. You expand your market slowly. Get book reviews. Give your books out to media houses. And I believe in prayer. Everything I've been doing is through prayer. You can't go on without prayer, I can assure you.
Okay, Johnson Grace Maganja, what next for you? You've self-published 3 books. They have now been put. Some schools have actually adopted these books. You were showing me pictures earlier of the schools you've been to, where you also do some book readings. What next from you? What can we expect?
Next year I'm releasing my 4th book, and I'm also planning to shoot an animation based on my storybook for kids.
An animation?
Yeah.
Is that like a
cartoons based
a
on
cartoon film
for
or
kids, yeah, cartoon film for kids. Then for my 2nd novel, I'm planning to shoot a film based on the novel.
Is that for adults?
Yeah, adults. Yeah. There's a producer called Kennedy Kihira. He's going to do that for me. Yeah, that's my long-term goal. I want to die empty. I don't want to die old. I want to die empty. I don't want to die with books inside me. I want to die empty. Yeah.
Johnson Grace Maganja, thank you for sharing your story with us here. He is an author. He's not an English teacher, but he has written this book. And like he said, get a good editor. And do not accept no. Do not take no for an answer. And as you write, remember there are 3 key things for every book. You need to make sure that there is some knowledge in there. People can comprehend what you're writing, and that it is applicable. We definitely will be hearing from you, and all the best with your animation and all that you have. Thank you very much for sharing your story. Unfortunately, that's all we have. Farida Nakazwe has a very interesting topic for us today on Mwasize Mutia. Keep it here on NTV.